While most of the NFL world is fixated on veterans, superstar contracts, or the usual flashy headlines, something pretty remarkable is happening under the radar in San Francisco. The 49ers are quietly putting together what could be one of the most fearsome young defensive cores we've seen in a long time, and no, this isn't about just one guy showing flashes in camp. This is about a collective surge, multiple draft picks, all young, all hungry, and all turning heads in training camp in a way that's impossible to ignore unless, apparently, you work at ESPN or are part of the national media. Because while the rest of the league might still see the Niners as a veteran-heavy team, clinging to their past identity, the truth is that this roster is evolving fast and it's happening right in front of us. Now, before anyone gets too excited or too skeptical, let's be real about one thing: draft picks take time. Nobody's here saying the 49ers have already struck gold across the board. It takes a few years before we can truly judge whether a pick was a hit or a miss. It's about development, contracts, second deals, whether a guy becomes a staple in your system or ends up being a one-year wonder. But you can't deny what's being seen right now. Training camp is where foundations are built, and what's being built in San Francisco looks solid, explosive, and ahead of schedule. So, let's talk about it. Why is it that the national media still labels the Niners as an old team, ranking them near the bottom in terms of under 25 talent? According to one recent list, they're sitting at number 30th. That's basically saying there are only two teams in the entire league with less promising young talent than San Francisco. Come on, either someone's asleep at the wheel or they're just not watching what's happening. Because the youth movement is not only alive in the Bay Area, it's thriving. Take a guy like Michael Williams. If you're not paying attention to this kid, you will be very soon. He's just 21, and already he's giving nightmares to some of the league's most respected offensive linemen. This isn't hype, it's what's actually happening on the field. He's been matched up with none other than Trent Williams in drills, and guess what? He's holding his own. He's pushing Trent back. He's flashing speed to power traits that you usually don't see from a rookie, much less someone that young. He's built for this. He's got the frame, the motor, the instincts, and the craziest part: he's not alone. Alfred Collins, CJ West, these names might not mean much to casual fans just yet. But give it time. You put on the tape, or better yet, go to camp and see it live, and you'll get it. These aren't just warm bodies filling roster spots. These are guys making statements every rep. Alfred Collins, especially, is a mountain of a human being. We're talking about a defensive tackle who makes other linemen look small, and not just on the tape, but standing next to them, the kind of size you just don't teach. But what's even more impressive is that he moves like someone 50 pounds lighter. His balance, his quickness off the snap, his ability to control space, it's all there. And then there's CJ West, who's less of a wall and more of a wrecking ball. He's powerful, explosive, and already turning reps into highlight moments. This defensive front is not being built like the finesse pass rush heavy line we saw from the Niners last season. No, this is a return to the Robert Saleh blueprint: big bodies, long arms, physical dominance at the point of attack. It's almost like the team has realized that to get back to truly elite defensive form, they've got to win up front in the trenches. And it shows in everything from their draft strategy to the way these young guys are being coached up during camp. This isn't just about depth or future insurance. These players are pushing for real roles, real snaps, and making it clear that 2025 might be their breakout year. And yeah, people love to throw cold water on training camp hype. It's just practice. Pads aren't even on yet. Wait till the season. Sure, all fair points, but there are things you can't fake in camp. One-on-one drills, that's real. Physical matchups, that's real. When a rookie is going up against all-pro talent and winning reps, that's something you take seriously. It doesn't mean the rookie is better than the vet, but it tells you the rookie belongs, and that's what we're seeing over and over again with these young 49ers. The contrast is especially clear when you compare this group to last year's line. Look at the averages. Last year's D-line hovered around 6'2" and just under 280 pounds. This year, we're looking at guys pushing 6'5", close to 300, with wingspans that make quarterbacks hesitate. That's not just a physical shift, it's a philosophical one. This line isn't built to chase plays from behind. It's built to stop them before they start. It's built to control the line of scrimmage, force third and longs, and let the pass rush feast when it counts. But let's not forget the versatility here. We're not just talking about gap-plugging nose tackles. We're talking about athletes Guys who can slide across the line, defend the run, crash the pocket, and drop into coverage if needed. Mike Williams isn't just big and strong, he's got pass rush polish. Alfred Collins isn't just a gap eater, he's got twitch. CJ West isn't just a bull, he's got get off that surprises you. These are the kind of players who can give your defense layers, depth, unpredictability, and more importantly, sustainability. Because that's the long-term vision, right? For the last 2 seasons, we saw opponents scheme around Nick Bosa. They found ways to avoid him, to neutralize him by targeting the weaker links across the line. That's not going to be so easy now. Try running away from Bosa in 2025, and you might find yourself sprinting straight into a wall of Mike Williams, or Alfred Collins, or CJ West. Pick your poison. It's no longer about one elite pass rusher doing it all. It's about building a unit that can control the game from start to finish. And this is where I think national coverage completely misses the point. Rankings like top under 25 talent are great for clicks, but they rarely reflect what's actually happening on the ground. When ESPN ranks the Niners 30th in young talent, they're clearly not factoring in the emergence of guys like Malik Mustafa or D. Winters, who already have starting experience, or rookies like Ricky Pira and Ronaldo Green, who are turning into projected starters before even taking a snap. The league keeps acting like the 49ers are an aging team. In reality, the future might be arriving faster than anyone expected, and the coaching staff knows it. They're not hiding these guys. They're not stashing them behind veterans. These rookies are getting first-team reps. They're being challenged. They're being developed. And most importantly, they're responding. Coaches are excited. Teammates are buzzing. The reports coming out of camp aren't just positive, they're unanimous. Everyone who's watching closely is seeing the same thing. The 49ers aren't reloading, they're reinventing. Right before our eyes. Now, look, nobody's handing out trophies for what happens in July, but momentum matters, culture matters. And when a group of young, unproven players starts to rise together, push each other, and compete at this level, you can't ignore it. You don't see that kind of cohesion from just any group of rookies. You don't get this kind of synergy unless the scouting was spot on, the coaching is clicking, and the locker room is buying in. There's a reason Robert Saleh's name keeps getting brought up when people talk about the direction of this team. Even though he's not coaching the 49ers anymore, his defensive philosophy left a blueprint, and it looks like the organization is finally leaning back into it. That's why the shift from speed first to size plus strength is so significant. The 49ers aren't just building a defense to get sacks, they're building one to impose their will, to dominate physically, to outlast you over 4 quarters and leave your offense exhausted. And that's what's so exciting. This isn't just potential, it's happening now. You've got rookies out there challenging all pros. You've got camp observers literally stunned at how quickly this unit is coming together. And you've got an entire front office that clearly bet big on the draft and might have nailed it. So while the talking heads are still stuck on yesterday's headlines, remember what's happening today. In a few months, when the regular season hits and the 49ers defense comes out swinging, don't act surprised, because the signs were all here, buried in the trenches of training camp, where the future of San Francisco's defense was already beginning to take shape. What's equally compelling about the emerging young defensive core in San Francisco is not just the physical tools or individual flashes of talent, but the collective mentality that these players are developing. It's a mindset that is hard to quantify but impossible to overlook once you spend any time around the team. This new wave of defensive players isn't coming in with the typical rookie uncertainty or hesitation. They're coming in with confidence, with a clear understanding of what it takes to be part of a championship defense. They know the standards, the expectations, and most importantly, the culture that has been fostered in the locker room. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Is the NFL about to witness one of the most electrifying moves in recent memory? Whispers echoing across league circles this week suggest that the San Francisco 49ers are on the verge of pulling off a sensational coup, acquiring superstar wide receiver TYREEK Hill. Yes, that TYREEK Hill, the 6-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and arguably the most dangerous weapon in the NFL today, could be swapping the sunshine of Miami for the fog and fire of the Bay. While no official announcement has been made and sources close to both franchises are keeping tight-lipped, the chatter refuses to die down. In fact, it's only grown louder, with multiple insiders hinting that a massive deal has been quietly inked. A deal that could send seismic tremors through the league hierarchy. The numbers being floated, astronomical, rumors pegged the contract at upwards of $150 million over 4 years, making Hill not just the highest paid wide receiver in 49ers history, but possibly the highest paid offensive skill player not named Patrick Mahomes. The deal is said to include extensive guarantees, front-loaded bonuses, and perhaps most interestingly, performance incentives tied directly to postseason production. But why would Miami let go of its most dynamic playmaker? That's the million-dollar question. Some speculate that the Dolphins are feeling the cap squeeze after a string of high-profile signings, and moving Hill's contract might be part of a broader financial recalibration. Others whisper that Hill himself has been quietly angling for a change not out of dissatisfaction but ambition, a burning desire to hoist another Lombardi trophy, perhaps. And what better place to do that than in San Francisco? The 49ers, already brimming with talent, have made no secret of their championship aspiration. With Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk stretching the fences, and Brock Purdy proving to be more than just a Cinderella story under center, the addition of Tyreek Hill would be nothing short of terrifying for opposing defensive coordinators. Imagine Hill's blistering speed unleashed in Kyle Shanahan's versatile, motion-heavy offense. The mere thought is enough to give defensive backs sleepless nights. Hill's ability to stretch the field, create mismatches, and turn 5-yard slants into 60-yard touchdowns could be the missing puzzle piece in San Francisco's quest for their first Super Bowl title since 1995. Of course, not everyone is buying into the rumor mill just yet. Skeptics argue that the 49ers are already financially tight, and fitting Hill's megadeal under the salary cap would require some significant restructuring, or perhaps a high-profile departure. Names like Brandon Ayuk and even George Kittle have been floated as potential trade pieces to make the numbers work, but again, this is all speculation, the type that fuels talk shows, podcasts, and fan forums across the nation. Tyreek Hill himself has remained coy. When asked about the swirling rumors after a recent workout in South Florida, he simply smiled and said, "I'm always chasing greatness, wherever that takes me." Not exactly a denial, and in the world of NFL offseason intrigue, that's more than enough to send social media into a frenzy. One source close to the 49ers front office, speaking on condition of anonymity, hinted that Shanahan and GM John Lynch have been cooking something big for months. "All I can say," the source teased, "is don't be surprised if training camp opens with a new number 10 jersey on the field." That cryptic comment only adds fuel to the already raging fire. Could Hill be wearing red and gold this fall? Could the 49ers be poised to field one of the most explosive offenses in league history? The questions are tantalizing and for now unanswered. Until an official announcement is made, this remains a rumor. But as far as rumors go, this one has teeth. Big, fast, game-breaking teeth, just like Tyreek Hill. Strap in, NFL fans, the season hasn't even started, and it's already delivering drama worthy of prime time. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.